Ireland have just lost their world number one status after a first autumn series defeat since 2016 against an unfancied All Blacks team. From their last 40 test matches, they have lost just 5, a run that has seen them lift 2 Six Nations titles in a row, a series victory in New Zealand, a series draw in South Africa, and record away victories over both England and France. But they also crashed out of a World Cup at the quarter-final stages again and blew a grand slam against England earlier this year. So were Ireland ever truly number one? I was joined by Irish content creator Rugby Nause to debate just that. How can Ireland prove that they are the number one team in the world?
To who?
Everybody other than themselves.
Well, I don't think anybody will take it seriously until they win a World Cup. Probably is the answer. What the rankings are is a representation of the last 2 years. Like, it's supposed to show you how good teams are over a period of time, not how good teams are on their best day or anything like that. It's how consistent can you be and how good are your high level performances. And from that perspective, I feel like Ireland have earned it, right? That doesn't mean that they're the best team on their day in the world. It means that they've been the most consistent team.
But that's what matters, isn't it?
Well, not at a World Cup. What matters at a World Cup is that you're the best team in the world for 2 months, and that you perform really well for 2 months. It's because Ireland have been world number one before when they've manifestly not been the best team in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like going into 2019, we were world number one and there was no way. There was just no way. Now the claim is a lot stronger. And I think the fact that they went and they took a game off South Africa in July, and in all honesty, if they weren't sloppy in the first game, they could have had that one too. It shows you that those two are, I think, better than everybody else.
Agree.
But I mean, I think if they played 10 games, it might be 5-5, like who knows?
Well, I think exactly to your point, they took a game off South Africa in the summer in South Africa, and I wouldn't back South Africa to beat Ireland in Dublin. I wouldn't really back anybody to beat Ireland in Dublin. And I do. It's funny, the World Cup thing, because you could say South Africa have won back-to-back World Cups. And if any South Africans hear it and think that this is me trying to hate on you, like, watch all the content on my channel. I love South African rugby. I love your players. I love everything about South African rugby. But you could say South Africa have won the last 2 World Cups. So they're clearly the best team in the world. And you could say that that's proof that they've sustained a level of performance. But theoretically, you could win a World Cup, then completely tank, and then win another World Cup and literally be only good for those 4 months out of 4 years, but still hold that claim. Whereas a team that would, like, 5 out of 6 times win that game between those two sides. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's just an example.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't win a World Cup, because they lose one of the highest level test matches I've ever seen in my life against the All Blacks.
Yeah.
That proves that they're therefore not. And I don't think one game is enough to prove anybody is the best in the world. It has to be sustained. So I kind of think, like, on balance, outside of a World Cup, would Ireland beat South Africa more than half the time? I think so, is my personal opinion. But trust me, you're never going to convince the South Africans.
No. Well, I know that well. But I think, like, the argument about it, people, that the way you've made your case, I don't think anybody would disagree with that from the start to the end, right? But, like, when people say the best team in the world, people mean all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
And people are obviously also clouded by their biases, and there is also a question about, like, well, what's more important? Like, is it more important to be a team that consistently wins longer format competitions, or is it more important to be able to win when the chips are down? And I would imagine most people's opinion is based on what their team is good at.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's one of those endless debates that you're always going to get. But I think Ireland won't ever be able to convince the rugby public at large until they win. If Ireland win a World Cup and they're world number one after that, no one's gonna, the stick to beat them with is gone. The quarterfinal thing is gone, right? Like, once they do it, there'll be nothing left. They'll be undeniable. if they manage to get to world number one after doing that. Some one day, I hope it's in my lifetime. But right now, there's just this stick to beat them with. And it doesn't matter what the team does on a consistent level, because people will always be able to say, yeah, but you never gone past the quarterfinal.
Let me know your thoughts down below on this topic. For me, Ireland are clearly the competitors to South Africa in terms of claiming that number one spot. Those two are very clear of the rest, in my personal opinion. If you would like to support the channel, you can get membership for just 99 pence a month, which is the lowest price that it can be set on YouTube. It really helps cover the cost of making these videos and makes things a lot easier. Anyway, like, subscribe, share links with friends, and I'll speak to you next time. Cheers.